Hello everyone, welcome back to Gaming with Pun. As always, thanks to all the subscribers, everybody that's viewed the videos, anyone that's left comments or had questions. I really appreciate all y'all and hope that all the requests and questions have been filled and answered up to this point. If not, feel free to drop me another message on the channel and I'll try and make sure that I get to all that as quickly as possible. Well, here we are in Mod 19 preview. This video today is going to be fairly short. Just wanted to go over a few of the changes that have been made to the Barbarian Sentinel as of right now. Disclaimer, of course, all of this is still in preview and things are still subject to change multiple times before this actually goes live. So today we're just going to be pretty much talking about the skills that have changed. I'm not going to go in depth on anything else. I will have a build video for Mod 19 coming out once we get a little bit closer to launch and things are a little more settled down and not as subject to change. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and look at what has changed with the Barbarian Sentinel. We'll just jump into our powers here. And the first thing that I want to mention is, even though it is not reflected here in the exact amount of increased threat generation that you get for being a tank class, I do have it on very good authority that that number has increased substantially from what it formerly was or is currently on live, meaning a great deal more threat generation for us as a tank, which is really good. Again, I'm not going to go into the exact numbers because all this stuff is subject to change. So for now, we're just going to say that this has been increased by a pretty substantial amount. Moving on from there, there are really only two things currently that have changed for the skills of the Barbarian Sentinel. One of those things is Enduring Shout. It now increases your maximum hit points by 20%, up from 10%, and restores that amount increased. Duration is 15 seconds. So the only thing that has changed with this is they have increased the percentage from 10% on what is currently on the live server to 20%. Not a big change necessarily, but it does give a pretty drastic amount more hit points when you use this. So when you're taking those big hits in different places, this does come in handy in certain circumstances. I've actually been using this, testing it out in the new trial, along with some other things that I'll go into more detail about whenever I release my build video. But for now, we're just going to leave it at that. Up from 10% to 20% on Enduring Shout. So the only other thing that has changed currently for the Barbarian Sentinel is this last feat. Formerly, this feat was the one that was extended unstoppable. It gave when you're in unstoppable, using Come and Get It extended the effects of unstoppable for an additional 4 seconds. That has now been changed to Rage and Rally. So Unstoppable now increases the threat generated and restores up to 40% of your maximum stamina based on the amount of rage consumed when the effect of Unstoppable ends. So now when we fill our rage meter and go Unstoppable, all of our attacks while we were under the effect of Unstoppable will be increased threat. And whenever Unstoppable ends, of course, while we're under that effect, we block all incoming attacks, so that eats into our stamina pool. But now, once the effect of Unstoppable ends, however much rage was consumed, your stamina will be filled by that amount, which that's actually really good, because there's lots of situations when I don't use Unstoppable simply because I want to time the usage of my stamina and my block for certain mechanics or skills that a boss might be getting ready to do. So I avoid using my Unstoppable in a lot of those situations just to not burn through my stamina, and I'll have it to block like a big upcoming attack or something like that. It's no longer something that I really have to worry about with this feat, because as soon as it ends, it's going to fill my stamina back up for however much rage was consumed. So if you fill your rage meter all the way and then you go Unstoppable, you block all incoming attacks, generate additional threat from all your attacks while you're Unstoppable, and then however much stamina was consumed blocking attacks while you were under that effect will now be filled back up whenever the effect ends. So that is pretty nice. My only real complaint about this feat was it would have been a lot nicer if they had given us something like the war cry from the DPS side of the Barbarian that fills rage based on however many enemies that you hit. That way, Unstoppable would be more valuable at the beginning of a fight. You have a faster way to fill your rage at the beginning of a fight to go into Unstoppable for that increased threat while you're trying to build threat, versus having to build your rage throughout a fight to go Unstoppable. And then you get the increased threat once you've reached a point where you should probably already have aggro secured, so you don't really need that increased threat at that time. But the stamina filling effect is still pretty useful no matter how you look at it. So I am pretty happy with this skill, but I wish they'd given us something to couple with that that would help us fill our rage meter a little bit faster. So that's going to be pretty much it right now. Not anything else has changed. Of course, if anything else does change between now and the time that we're getting closer to go live, I will, of course, cover that and bring that information to you. But otherwise, this is where we're at currently. So, I don't know. Feel free to drop some comments and tell me your thoughts on these things, and how you feel about the changes and the new mod and all that kind of stuff. And of course, like I said, once we get a little bit closer to the release date, when things are a little bit more stable, I'll release my build video with all the new stat caps and everything. But yeah, that's going to be about it for this video. So thanks everyone for watching. As always, feel free to subscribe if you want to see more Barbarian Sentinel videos in the future. And always feel free to drop a like or leave a comment. And that's going to wrap it up. So, hope you all have a great day, and we'll catch you in the next video.